Joined by Ike Ikeme, who is here from Intermountain Credit Advocates. Welcome to the show, sir.
Hey, thanks for having me, Joe.
That's your company.
Intermountain Credit Advocates, we established it a couple years ago, and really the goal and purpose was just educating people on credit. Credit education and helping people get on track to where they want to be, and we've enjoyed doing it. It's an important part of people's lives. It's part of everything these days, from finance to even employment. So we've loved being a part of people's success and helping them get to where they want to be. So.
Well, you've obviously done well with it because you got picked up as part of our Real Estate Essentials group there, and they vet out all the people they get involved with, so they must like you.
Absolutely. Jay Deere and his team over at Real Estate Essentials they're just fantastic, and it's been great to work with them and a lot of their clients. Buying a home is a big decision. It's what we consider the American dream is getting into that house and that picket fence, and it takes credit to get there. And so we've been an essential part of what they've done for clients to get them to the right position and really where they want to be. So.
That's awesome, and you have a lot of passion for that, the American dream, don't you?
Absolutely, absolutely. My parents were immigrants here, so as they came to the United States, just came with that immigrant mentality. You have to really work hard and to get to where you want to be. I was fortunate myself to become a homeowner at 24. That's all I worked towards, was getting into a house, because that's what I knew coming here as an immigrant, that's what you do. You work hard, and once you get a home in America, that's really everything. So I've been glad to have done it myself and help other people get there as well. So
that's tremendous. I like that. That's having that passion for something and commiseration with your fellow man. That's an important part of any really great job.
Yeah, absolutely,
right?
Absolutely. You got to love your job. So.
Well, talk to me a little bit about this side of it for a moment, because we know that it's the sort of the season where people start to go, oh my gosh, man, I wrecked my credit at Christmas, and now I need a house.
Oh yeah.
And like, what am I gonna do?
Oh yeah, you
gotta fix it.
Yeah, it's really what we call credit season. We see that, of course, the spring and summer, those are the months where people make those purchases that are relying on credit. The cars, the house.
You get excited this spring. I gotta have a car.
Gotta have a house.
Convertible.
House. Gotta get out, and then you start going to the dealership or the lenders or the real estate agents, and they tell you, it's not going to happen for you. Things aren't looking quite up, and you're like, Christmas, what happened? Credit limit's too high, dings, this and that on your credit score. And people oftentimes, what I've seen is, they're like, well, I guess it's bad. It's bad.
Yeah, they just give up. That's it, we're done.
And once you realize bad, it's no one ever does anything after the fact. Well, let's look into why it's bad. Let's look into what we can do to make it better. It's almost like, well, if we don't look in the crate of eggs, then it's not broken. If I look, then it's broken. So the mentality is, let's not look in the crate of eggs, and the eggs are never broken, right?
It's easy to do.
It's still broken. You just don't know anything about it.
I listened to a comedian last night who said, it's all just numbers. He's like, look, honey, the number went up. Look, honey, the number went down. And there's really no other, they're not relating anything to it.
Absolutely.
But you got to relate to it because it matters.
You got to relate to it because it matters. And when your credit's in a tough situation, there are always things you can do to get it back up. And maybe this year wasn't the year for that, a house and that car and that dream, but next year could be. And oftentimes it takes about that 6 to 12 months to start to fix things, to put good credit in place, to lower those limits, and to really understand the dynamics and fundamentals of your credit score. And that's what people should be doing at this time, is not, well, okay, let's not look at the crate of eggs, it's not broken, but really to dive in and see, well, where did we go wrong? What
Admit to your failures.
Yeah, exactly, right? Accepting is the first step, It's always accepting is always the first step. So.
Well, let's talk about that. Let's say that we find out that our credit's not so stellar. We got a couple dings on there. Maybe we haven't paid some things on time. Maybe we've even let something go into default because we didn't want to open the envelope because we knew how bad that number was, right?
Of course.
All right, so what are the steps? What should we be doing first thing? We know we need to acknowledge it, okay? So we've acknowledged the problem, now what?
Acknowledging it, oftentimes when people look at their credit, it might not even be their fault. I mean, often
Could be something
it could be
entirely fake.
Yes, absolutely. Just because something's reported on your credit might not mean that it's actually yours.
Yeah.
So verifying the validity of negative items reporting in your credit is an important step. So the worst part, if it's one thing, if you've committed the actions that led to this, low credit score, it's completely different if you didn't, or if it didn't earn the right to be on your credit. You see, before something's reporting your credit, it has to earn the right to be on there. There's certain rules, the Fair Credit Reporting Act, HIPAA rules, and some regulations that really dictate what's reported on your credit. So you want to make sure that everything that's on there should be on there. It's in line first. And of course, from that part, that's when it goes on to making the necessary steps. There are lots of things that go into the credit score. I think one of the most important ones that can change dynamically is credit utilization. How much of available credit are you actually using? And we've seen this, raise scores dramatically within months of period when you just pay down credit cards within certain threshold amounts, right?
Yeah.
And so
sometimes you don't want to pay them all the way off, right?
Yeah.
Sometimes you want to carry a little bit, right?
Yeah. So you have a certain portion of your credit score assigned to this credit utilization. 0% credit utilization doesn't get you the max score. You actually have to revolve a little bit around.
You gotta be spending a little.
Yeah, you gotta be spending a little. That's the whole point of credit. Is financial institutions want to see that you can use it responsibly. Now, if you're showing that you haven't used it at all, they have no way to really understand how you would use it.
Right.
Right. So you really want to make sure that you're using it responsibly.
Yeah, you're not just waiting to have a free for all.
Exactly.
Shopping's free.
Exactly. They're just going out of the town. They want to see some dedicated history there that you revolve the right amounts and you carry the right limits. Avoid just having way too many cards, especially cards with smaller limits. It's good to have a handful of cards with larger limits, and a great utilization.
Yeah, and you see that by what you get in the mail, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
People start sending you 5 different applications for the same credit card, and you're like, and it says you're approved for all of them.
Yeah, and people open up credit cards, $500 limit, $1,000 limit, and they have lots of those. And to lenders, it really shows that, well, you haven't really been entrusted with high credit limits.
Because high credit limits, we're talking in the tens of thousands.
Yes, 5,000, 10,000. So and so people try to build that up, you really want to change your mentality around it. Another thing people need to keep in mind too is when they get in this situation and they notice that their credit is hurting, they start taking counterproductive actions. Some of these counterproductive actions might be closing down credit cards.
Not a good idea.
Not a good idea at all. Shutting down limits and closing down credit cards. If you want to not spend on a credit card, by all means, cut it up.
Cut it up, yeah, but leave it on your credit.
Leave the line open. You want that history, you want that utilization, you want that amount available to show. And so we see people saying, you know what, I'm going to be better. I'm going to call these guys up and close that account.
No.
And it's really devastating they say, well, I'm acting responsibly. Why is my score going down? I'm doing the right things. Why is my score going down? And so those are the kind of things that as consumers are going through this process, they just need to be aware of. So.
All right, so lots of good stuff there.
Yeah.
These are the kinds of things, if we come into you and see you, we're going to go through that individually and look at our situation.
Absolutely, absolutely. Part of what we do is, in addition to making sure, we want to hold the people reporting your credit accountable, make sure that the information is valid.
And that they did good record keeping.
And they did,
exactly.
Right? Yeah, absolutely. We also want to make sure that we educate our clients on how to build good credit as well, the responsible things to do, understanding the implications of credit inquiries on your credit score. And you see, when people go to shop in the summer and they're getting new things, and every department store you go to now, they're like, hey, would you like to save 25% today to apply for credit?
Say no to those.
Aside from the ridiculous department store interest rates that you often see, all those credit inquiries start to really impact your credit and lower your score. You see, it raises red flags. Lenders don't want to see that you went out and applied for lots of credit. It means
because they want to know why. Why did he apply for credit? Maybe they don't have any cash.
It might be a tight credit crunch, right?
Yeah.
You might have been laid off, needing credit, right? And aside from that, a portion portion of your future income is going to go towards paying those new credit obligations. And so they're looking at your income and saying, well, now you've got additional credit obligations to pay. And you also want to avoid having too many installment loans. Installment loans, you have a car payment, you have a boat payment, you have an RV payment, that's really going to impact your decision to get that house or the American dream, because what lenders are willing to take on after that point it really starts to impact your decision as to the kind of house you can get, the credit terms that are available to you, and even your rates. So.
All right. Well, lots of good information there. People obviously want to come in and do this individually with you and find out some specifics for their own credit.
Absolutely.
Everybody's is different. You got different credit cards you fell for. You got excited about. Maybe it was Nordstrom. Maybe it was something else.
Oh, Nordstrom. Everyone loves Nordstrom.
I know, right? That's the one that got
me when I was young. That's the one that gets everybody, right?
Where do they get in touch with you?
Well, IntermountainCreditAdvocates.com on our website, IntermountainCreditAdvocates.com or ICAUtah.com. You can reach us. We also have a free credit guide on there. It's great. You just go in and you can download it. It's available to anybody. It really has all the information you really need to
start
know.
there.
We put it together. It was 50 pages. We called it 50 Shades of Green, the most important thing you ever read in your life. So, it's available to everyone. Go to our website and download it.
That sounds great.
Get some great information and contact us at 855-98-SCORE, 855-98-SCORE. We'd love to help and talk to people and get into a better position.
It's awesome. Thanks, man.
Thanks, Joe.
Good stuff.
Thanks for having us on.
You can live the American dream and do it a little better with your credit. There you go. That's all the information you need right there. We'll be back with more right here on the Mountain Morning Show. Hawk Watch is coming up after this.